Okay, well, I guess I might go ahead and start this video early because I don't really feel like jumping halfway into the game right now. I'll probably try to do like a long game, but I'll probably just get more gameplay video out of it because I only have like 15 minutes per section of talking. But that's besides the point. My topic for today that I want to talk about is that workers are not your friends. And I say this um, out of usually it's because I've learned something, and yes, I say this out of from experience. Workers are not your friends. A lot of the times they'll try to make you believe that they're your friends or that they're on. I don't know why, but I always feel like in like these situations, it's like they would say that they're on your side, but it's like I don't even like that term, but that's what it feels because it feels like people play sides. And it's like I didn't even start viewing this until like I hit my adult years. I'm not even gonna lie, like when I was at school I was like pretty much the weird quiet kid that didn't really talk to very many people, so I didn't have a lot of human experience to really see the bigger picture, I guess. But in the work field, you have people who act like they play sides or whatever, and depending on what you're working, it can be pretty devastating. No, it's not that I really care to have friends at work. It's just more the fact that like you really have to watch your fucking back. To be fair, um, you don't know what kind of shady shit they're gonna pull, and let me tell you, people are capable of pulling some shady ass shit. And most of the time, I really don't think it's overthinking either. Because I've been told that I've overthought about it, and I really sometimes you get enough evidence to know that what you what you've experienced. I mean, you're the one that experienced it. Why should somebody be telling you otherwise? But I have a few examples, like especially when I was working at the nursing home. They a lot of people at the nursing home seem like when I first started working there appeared pretty friendly. So like I was kind of like starting to be like more open to conversation, which I'm normally not open to conversation with people at all. But I was kind of getting more open to conversation because like their first impression was like pretty decent. They appeared pretty friendly and nice, and so I was like, hey, this isn't gonna turn out too bad. And I was starting to get chit chatty and kind of close or whatever. I guess I don't want to say like close, but pretty comfortable. And as time started going on, um, it took me about I want to say a month to kind of figure out that I think I was my judgment was wrong. Let's say that my judgment actually turned out to be wrong. Um, there was an incident that happened. I don't really know if it's something I really want to talk upon, but it had to do with some of the residents that were there. And I was trying to like stay, cause like one of the first things they said when I applied there was like stay in your own lane or whatever, and I was like on board with it because I don't tend to try to get into people's business, like that's not my place, nor do I really care. But when I was kind of realizing stuff happening with residents, I couldn't help but to like notice, and like stupidly I was kind of pointing it out to. The reason why I say stupidly is because obviously I think that was at that point it was something they were wanting me to keep my mouth shut about. And um it kind of caught up with me a little bit over time because anything I noticed that I thought was not right, I would open my mouth about and tell somebody, whether it was a CNA or my boss or somebody. And somehow it all just kind of circled around. You know, to put in perspective, let's say this. It kind of ended up seeming kind of like a fucking high school situation. Let's put it that way. Thank God I never experienced like that in high school, and I thought I dodged that. But going out into the work field, I kind of realized I didn't dodge fucking shit. Like I actually thought I dodged the walk of shame or being humiliated or being bullied or whatnot. I mean, I was kind of bullied in school, but not enough for me to like really, really, really like. I don't know if I want to say notice, because obviously I kind of noticed it, but not enough to where I guess it was super, super agony. I mean, I still showed up to school. I still, I don't know, tried my best, I guess, but ooh, being here at the nursing home with all this stuff happening, it was my worst fear to come true. Let's say that. Um, I felt almost like a punching bag. Like it was kind of going around in like circle. Like I was getting picked on by a CNA, or I'd be picked on by a maintenance guy, or I'd be picked on by a nurse. Rather, they were like telling me to do stuff that wasn't my job, and you know, me being naive at the time, I went with it and did it. And eventually, I started to realize like, uh, I I don't think this is right. I don't know, something kind of was just telling me that like something don't seem right here. I don't know if you want to say like your intuition or whatever, but I had those let's say the fight or flight mode kind of just screaming out at me. And that's when I decided to go ahead and talk to my boss about it, which I could tell that she was in on it, on all of it, because when I told her about it, she made some snarky remarks saying something about how like she was gonna be a therapist or some shit. Like I was venting, basically like I was venting or something, when really I was trying to resolve an issue which nobody else wanted to resolve clearly. So I just thought that was pretty messed up and pretty fucking shady and just not cool for being at a nursing home. Like I thought that maybe I picked a job where people would be professional, but I definitely guessed wrong. And I just think that it was pretty shitty of them for all that stuff, because it wasn't only just me, but it's also the residents that have to stay there. And I actually had the leverage to leave, so I did. I left eventually, but those people have to stay there for a lifetime pretty much, and the stuff that they had to go through, I would not wish that on my worst enemy. It is kind of a little bit of a touchy subject. There's a lot of things I would rather not go into detail about, but I will say, they they're not as innocent as they make it sound, and getting close and friendly with them is probably the worst thing possible, because I felt like at first, like I said, being there, the comfortableness I got put me in a lot of shit. Um, I got comfortable with people who definitely aren't for the good. They act like high schoolers, and honestly, in that circumstance, I feel like it can be dangerous when you're working a job that's supposed to be more professional. You don't have, in my opinion, there's no time to be acting like a high schooler. You got a job to do. It needs to get done. There's no room for messing around, and I'm starting to think that most jobs are kind of like that, or at least the ones that I've been to personally. But at the end of the day, if it's a bad situation, you gotta get yourself out of it, because let me tell you, that's one of the worst experiences I've ever gone through in my life, and the fact that it ever even had to happen. After leaving, I swear had the worst anxiety ever in my life. For the longest time, I wasn't sure if I was ever gonna conquer it or get over it, but overall, I kind of did. But it's still not something I really like to personally think about. but I think it's something that I kind of want to address because I'm sure I'm not the only one that has to go through that, and I just think it's bullshit that people should, or that people have to go through that when you're simply just trying to do your job. Because to me, people don't care about doing their job anymore. They just care about finding their clicks and picking on the person that wants to take their job seriously and treat it as professional as possible. I feel like as time goes on, we're definitely losing more and more professionalism in work fields, and I just think I would like to see professionalness or whatever you want to call it come back, because this is just effed up in my opinion. But I appreciate y'all listening. If you're here, if you have any thoughts or any experiences you want to share, if you feel comfortable, of course, feel free to leave it in the comments. And thanks for listening. Later.